said, what about breakfast at Tiffany's? You said, I think I remember the film, and as I recall...
Welcome to our cooking show. We're going to have fun in the kitchen today. My name is Dan Oakes, and we've invited Charlie Wright here to show us how to make, well, what is this called again, Charlie?
This is going to be a Parmesan chicken, and it's going to be going with a honey Dijon cream sauce.
Sounds really good to me. In fact,
it is
our staff
good.
was really excited as we were getting the ingredients ready and as they were looking at the recipe. So, why don't you show us how to make it?
Well, we're going to start off, we're going to get the cream sauce going here, and it's basically just cream, honey, and Dijon mustard. So we're going to get our pan. Our pan right now is heating up to about on a medium high, and we're going to go ahead and dump our cream in. And while that is reducing by just over a third, we're going to actually get our chicken going. So for that, we're going to get our pan heating up on medium high as well. And right now our chicken has been, what you want is 6-ounce chicken breasts. And if you can't get 6-ounce chicken breasts, just go ahead and cut those breasts in half. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with mixing our breadcrumbs here, and this is just your standard breadcrumb, with grated Parmesan cheese and dried parsley. If you have fresh parsley, you can use that as well.
Does it make a difference?
Not really.
No.
I just dried parsley. Pretty much everybody's got dried parsley in their house.
Yeah.
So. And we're just going to kind of put this into a pie plate we're going to coat our chicken in this pie plate.
Okay.
And you want to make sure this is mixed up well.
Okay. Just with your fingers, huh?
Yeah, just fingers. Fingers are your best tools.
Just so you know, Charlie is a professional chef. You worked at Thanksgiving Point as a chef there, right?
Yes.
And now you're at a different place, I think.
Yeah. I'm actually selling food now, so.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So our breadcrumbs are ready. We're going to go ahead and get our flour. That's also going into a pie pan.
Okay.
And we're going to season that with just salt and pepper.
Okay.
And you're going to want probably about, with table salt, you're going to want about a half a teaspoon of table salt. And if you have kosher salt, go with about a full tablespoon of kosher salt.
Wow, there's that big of a difference, huh?
Yeah, kosher salt is great because it doesn't really give a salty taste, but it enhances flavors really well.
Interesting. Wow. See, I'm learning something new all the time. Whoops. I almost reduced this to a mess on the floor as it was reducing here. Do you need to stir this? I bet you need to watch it so it doesn't burn.
You need to watch it so it doesn't boil over. That's a big thing.
Okay.
In this pan here, which we're going to brown the chicken in, I've got about a third of a stick of butter, and we're going to add about 2 tablespoons of oil. And that's just going to kind of extend the heat range for the butter. And we're not quite ready for that, so I'm just going to kind of take it off the heat a little bit.
Okay.
So now our eggs, I'm just going to use this bowl right here that we put our cream in. Just dump your eggs into a bowl. And we're just going to kind of, just want to whisk these up real good. Okay, and that's ready. Now all we're going to do, let's just go ahead and give our sauce a stir, make sure it's not scorching. Maybe turn this down to medium. Now we're ready for our chicken. You start with flour, then eggs, then your breadcrumbs, and then it can go into the pan.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. I thought we always did eggs first, you know, and then the dried things.
If you put it in the flour, if you put it in your flour first, your eggs will stick better, and then you put it in the breadcrumb, and you kind of want to make sure you kind of pack your breadcrumb on there, and it gets a nice coating.
Cool.
So we'll just take our chicken and you just coat it in there, make sure that it's covered. Shake off excess flour and into the egg mixture. And then a thing to do with this is make sure only one hand gets wet, because otherwise you end up with a really sticky mess on your hands.
It starts caking on, getting thicker and thicker. Good thinking. Nice
and then
trick.
right into the breadcrumb.
Okay.
And this is pretty much the process here. And you want to make sure, like I said, really coat these in here. Go ahead and get this right in here. It's sizzling nicely, so we know that's cooking.
Good. Now, while you're doing this, Charlie, I need to tell you a little tip here. When you're cooking for the masses, use the cooking software. I've got a couple copies here. This here is called Cooking with Betty Crocker. This is Cooking with Pillsbury. We have 41 other titles like this in our line. The software on these CDs is all the same. The difference really between the different CDs is the content, like the number of recipes, photos, and video clips. But with the software on your computer, you can do a lot of things. In fact, one of the features is the ability to plan menus and make grocery shopping lists. And one of the neat things is you can take a recipe like this, which, how many people does this serve about, would you say?
This right here can serve for like 8 people.
8 people? Uh-huh. Now, when you're cooking for the masses, if you're serving at a wedding or what's another event, like
anything really. I mean, just even a family party.
yeah, family party or whatever.
Family
it is.
reunion.
We've got a lot of. Kathy, my wife, has like 9 brothers and sisters. Can you believe that? Okay, how's it looking?
It's looking good. Our last of our chicken's ready to come out, and our sauce is steadily reducing. I kind of turned up the heat a little bit.
Now, why did you do that?
It tends to reduce faster.
Oh, okay.
But when you turn up the heat,
You gotta stir it, huh?
it's gonna fill the pan a lot faster. So you gotta make sure you stir quite fast.
So it doesn't overflow.
Yeah.
And you get the mess.
Cream burns and makes a big mess.
It stinks too, doesn't it?
Yes.
Does it give a bad flavor? It does. Through
It'll make a bad. It'll
Yeah.
basically ruin your whole sauce,
Right.
and that's kind of.
Now I can smell the Parmesan here.
Yeah, the Parmesan. Yeah, it's in the.
Oh, it's in here.
chicken, yeah.
Okay, that's right.
We're gonna add.
I smelled it somewhere.
Honey and Dijon to the sauce. So now we're gonna, since the chicken's browned and our sauce is still reducing, we're gonna go ahead and throw the chicken in the oven. It's still got a little bit longer on this sauce. Like I said, we're looking for just over 1/3 reduced. It's gonna make a nice. It's called nappe, and it's a French term to mean to coat the back of a spoon, and that's the consistency we're looking for. It's not all the way thickened, but there's lecithin in your mustard and your honey, which is going to help thicken your sauce.
Lecithin?
Lecithin, it's a natural thing in honey and mustard. It also will help hold the consistency, emulsify salad dressings.
Oh, really?
So, our sauce is done. Now I'm going to show you that French term I was talking about for nappe. And you just take your spoon and just drop it into your spoon, and you notice how it coats the back of the spoon, and if you run your finger through it, it keeps a nice
coating.
You can see your finger through it.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's nappe.
Huh.
So now we're just going to go ahead and add our.
When it's not ready, what happens? In other words, if it's too runny,
It's too runny, it just form right back
it
through.
goes right over where you. I see.
And
Okay.
that kind of gives its consistency and gives a mouthfeel, its richness, because in the cooking world we say fat is flavor. So, and that's the truth. You get a lot of flavor out of butter. That's probably my favorite thing to cook with.
Now, while we were, Charlie was reducing this down, I watched him a number of times testing that.
Yeah.
And it's ready now.
Oh yeah, and I love, if you smell your cream as it's reducing, it has this just wonderful rich smell.
Yeah,
It kind of smells sweet.
Yeah, you could smell it. I'm getting fat just smelling it.
So now we're going to go ahead and add our Dijon mustard and our honey,
Okay.
and we're just going to whisk this in, and then we're going to season it with salt and pepper and give it a good taste. When we season this sauce, we want to season it to taste, because I know everybody's taste is different, and if you're like me, I'm kind of a salt hound. So.
Here, turn it this way. So this is the camera here where we're going to see. There we go. Yeah. So. And this is the honey now, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
It kind of gives it a sweet, mustardy
Wow.
flavor.
It smells really good. I can smell the mustard on it.
I love this sauce. I've made this at home for my wife a couple times, and she really enjoys it. And it's going to kind of get a light yellow color, a little opaque yellow.
Am I stirring right?
Yeah.
Faster?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good? Okay. Uh-huh.
So we're just going to... It's falling off here.
Presentation, how important is that when you're serving,
Well, people always eat with their eyes first.
Really?
I eat with my eyes, then my nose, and then I actually taste it. So, when I was growing up, my mom always got so mad at me because I was sitting in restaurants and I'd sit there and I'd just sit there and just smell the food just like that. And a couple times I got my face pushed into a plate of food.
Really?
In the middle of a restaurant. She did not think it was very nice.
Oh, really?
And now we're just going to, once our food is on a platter.
I'm curious to see how you're going to do this part now. Here.
We're just gonna kind of drizzle our sauce
Okay.
on top. You want to make sure that there's plenty of sauce, and I always like to have a side of sauce as well.
You want to do this part right before you serve
Right
it,
before.
right? So it doesn't get soggy. Okay.
And then always, like, maybe a little sauce boat or something, have a side of sauce available.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe some red peppers or some tomatoes or chives for garnish. If you have maybe baby greens, a little bouquet of baby greens in the center, edible flowers. You know, it's just whatever. The options are kind of endless.
So you get creative there.
You could put a bed of mixed greens under the bottom. Like the mescaline greens are beautiful when you have those, and with edible flowers, it makes a beautiful presentation.
What is that?
They're called mescaline greens.
Mescaline?
Or the baby greens. You find them in the Albertsons, Smiths, wherever.
Huh. Cool. Okay, so should we try some of this?
Yes,
Taste it?
let's taste it.
Okay, how do you serve it now? Just scoop out one of those on it here. Take one.
And more sauce.
Oh, yes.
You gotta
Okay.
have more sauce.
Yum. This looks good and it smells good too. That's the thing you can't really see. Here's a fork for you if you want to. Let's clear a place here. So oh, that is warm. Huh? But you're expert, so warm doesn't matter, right? Hot doesn't matter. Actually, do you get used to that a little bit more?
Yeah, reaching in ovens.
I worked at a catering place and I used the hot pads and it was like burning through my hot pads. I spilled this cheese sauce and they were so mad at me, and I was just a young kid and I was like, it was burning.
It burns.
All right, let's try it, shall we? Look at that, that's really pretty, huh? Okay, I'm ready to taste this here, get a little sauce. That is so good. It's kind of sweet, but it's mustardy, but it's just perfect.
A
Creamy.
nice side of maybe garlic mashed potatoes and some grilled asparagus.
The breading on there, that crispy, that is so yummy. I wish you could try it. Actually, you can. Take this recipe, make it at home. It's easy. You saw how Charlie did it. Of course, you make it look really easy.
It takes 20 minutes, half hour.
Well, thank you so much for coming and showing
No
this to
problem.
us.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next time.